This should have been my most used secondary weapon. But it's not. When I open the equipment page on my profile, you will see that the regular Akstiletto are still my most used secondary, even though I haven't used them in years and the Prime came out in 2016. So why have I barely used the Prime? Because I obviously love the regular ones. I mean, I have like, what, 6,500 hours of playtime, I haven't used them in years, and they're still my most used secondary. Well, the Prime got power crept pretty hard and fast. They require Mastery Rank 10, they do primarily impact damage with a decent chunk of slash as well. They have a 15% crit chance and a 2x crit multi, which is not great, though the status chance of 30% is very solid. Other than that, they have relatively high fire rate of 7.08, they have a 40 round mag with a nice and snappy 1.1 second reload, and they use a fully automatic trigger. That's pretty much it. Very, very mid, as the kids would say. They do have a unique mod though, Zazvatkar, though unfortunately it's a bit meh. So let's give it a shot and see if we can make it do some good stuff, shall we? Man, I don't even have an adapter on this, like what? We're gonna start with Empowered, because I kind of want to go with a pure status setup. Previously you would go for Hybrid, because pure status setups were okay, but if you could go Hybrid you would try to brute force it, but nowadays you kind of don't have to. Galvanized Diffusion for some multi-shot, we're gonna skip Crosshairs and then go for Galvanized Shot. We need Hornet Strike because we're running Empowered, so we need some base damage on this. And let's finagle the polarities around a little bit, let's move that there. Let's move this up here, make it look a little bit neater. Corrosive and Heat is usually a good idea for Empowered setups. Let's also run Prime Heated Charge here, because armor diminishes the amount of damage you can do with it, so you want to strip it away. Oh, blimey, I almost forgot about Lethal Torrent. There we go. Let's move it here. I mean, we could run Stunning Speed. Elementalist isn't going to do much. Yeah, sure. Why not? Though I think a different setup would be better now that I'm looking at this. Let's try it though and see what it do. This is actually decent enough. It's not overwhelmingly good, but the armor strip is fast, the empowered procs are good, though I've just noticed that I forgot to take out Arcane Avenger. Let's take it out because it makes a massive difference on a weapon like this. Like, this is fine, but it's not tickling me the right way, so let's just try something else. Elementalist. We could even run Conjunction Voltage if we wanted to. Then we could take out Lethal Torrent, have slightly slower fire rate. Maybe. I mean, it works pretty well if you use something else to strip away the enemy armor. Okay, I am not feeling this at all. Let's help this out just a tiny little bit. Avenger goes back in. Next, we add a Crit Kavat, Grumpy McKavats. This is an Adarza Kavat. We go back to Corrosive and Heat, so Jolt, Pistol Pestilence, and Primed Heated Charge. And since we now have the crit from Avenger and the Kavat, we can run Prime Target Cracker for crit damage. And this is starting to feel nice, but like, at what cost? This is a lot of a stretch. Now it kind of doesn't make sense to run Empowered, because Empowered can't crit. See this? I have pulled out the Flare. I never pull out the Flare. Makes a lot of sense for this build though. And now that we have Flare, we can actually run Primed Pistol Gambit for more crit chance. Lovely. Now, yeah, that's pretty good, but it's not really the weapon doing the damage now, is it? Like, you could basically, if you like slotted in any kind of weapon or most weapons, it would do well because we are helping it a lot. As I said, most weapons would do well with this much help. Do it feel good though. Do it feel good. It do. This is worth doing for someone like me who enjoys the feel of the gun, but for like the general audience, probably no. I want to recommend this, I really do, but then I remember that like half the work here is being done by the frame and the pet. Because it's not like we're taking a silly crit build and making it sillier with a frame and a pet. No, we're taking a build that, you know, just about clears Steel Path and we're making it feel good. One thing that I do absolutely adore about this though, besides the feel, the weapon feels awesome, that's why I like it, is the fast and snappy reload. I love fast and snappy reloads. The augment for this, by the way, is interesting. It's like, I think it's ammo efficiency while you're in the air, but I don't know. Hello there. Why'd you spawn down there, you dingus? Okay. Acolyte damage is pretty good. That ain't bad, Chief. Ain't bad at all. What really bothers me about this is that this looks good, and it's fun, and it looks fun, but please bear in mind that like half the damage is not being done by the gun here. It's a lot to do with the frame and pet. However, I will say that if you really like the Akstiletto Prime and you want to use it, you can absolutely make it work in Steel Path and it will feel good. It just needs a lot of help. I do not want to mislead you though, there are much better bullet hose secondaries that you could pick up and make work with much less. So yeah, this didn't quite work out. Like, the weapon works, but it needs a lot of help to feel good. But let's go over the setup anyways, just in case you're like me and you like how the weapon feels and you're willing to give it the help it needs to shine. We're actually using Cascadia Flare for once. I don't use this arcane very often because I find it rather boring, but it's perfect for a build like this because it's an easy way to get a bunch of base damage through heat procs. As far as the mods go, we have Galvanized Diffusion for multi-shot, Aletha Torrent for fire rate and multi-shot, Galvanized Shot for status chance and condition overload, Primed Pistol Gambit for crit chance, Primed Heated Charge for a ton of heat, then we also have Primed Target Cracker for a buttload of crit damage, and we top it off with Pistol Pestilence and Jolt for corrosive damage and status chance. Now, while this setup is fine and it will do decent amounts of damage and it can even clear base level Steel Path, it is rather anemic. Right, it doesn't pack a lot of punch, and it might take a while to kill some beefier enemies. If you want to make it perform a little bit better, or a lot better, you can run Arcane Avenger on your frame. Emerald Archon charts for more maximum corrosive procs are always a good idea on corrosive builds, so that you can strip away the enemy armor with corrosion alone. And finally, for maximum crit hit, you can run in a Darzakava with a combination of Bite and Tenacious Bond, as well as Cat's Eye and Tekken Hands for crit multiplier and more crit chance. As I have mentioned already, this is not a setup or even a weapon that I would recommend to everyone. There are much better, cheaper, simpler options out there. Even within the same gun category, we have loads of bullet hose secondaries that perform really well, even on a budget. You don't have to have some fancy mods, they just work out the box. But if, like me, you like the feel of the Akstiletto Prime, you can absolutely make it work with this setup. You can even give it a bit more of a push by either running my Sivagort build, or running a crit-focused Frost, or just Harrow, or even Citrine. Then you can completely forget about scaling crit chance and just scale crit damage. It's all up to you. If you're just looking for a really good gun that's gonna perform well, this kind of isn't it, but if you like the Akstiletto Prime and you want to make it work, I would highly recommend you give this setup a shot. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching and I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions for this series, no matter how silly they are, usually the sillier the better, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. And finally, I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. And I do really mean it. I made the membership program as more of a joke and you guys keep supporting me through it, so thank you very much. So I'll see you next time. Bye bye.